episode 2, Mean Right Hook. Again, we're going to be continuing our spoilerific mini reviews all the way up to episode 8, and then we're going to give you our season 1 review of what we thought of as a whole. Now, getting into episode 2, as I pointed out in the first episode, I really enjoyed that episode. It was a little more of a slow burn. There wasn't a ton of action. And in this one, I mean, again, there's not a whole lot of action.
But the action was meaningful.
Yeah, and the action, again, what I liked is the action dictated a lot of what was going on through the story. It wasn't, it wasn't meaningless, as you said. It was meaningful. And I will say this, one of my criticisms of the first episode, which now I forgive a little more, and you gave the best description I heard, is it was meant to be more in the shadows, but I had been a little Iron Fist weary. The action was a lot better in this, especially with Danny Rand with Finn Jones. It was a lot more clear what was going on when he was fighting. You can actually
see what's happening versus cut.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we'll talk about the episode as a whole, but we got to talk about that fight between Danny Rand and Luke Cage.
He pulled out the mean right hook right there, man.
And by the way, that really reminded, when he punched him and gave him that right hook, really reminded me of in Luke Cage season 1, when that guy gave Luke that punch and then completely you saw the bone snap in the hand. Except in this time, instead, Luke gets freaking punched off to the side. So it was really cool, really fun sequence.
Yeah.
And
I just thought, just in general, it was great seeing a whole bunch of different interactions that we're used to seeing. Like we're seeing, we saw at the very end, Jessica and Matt. Can't wait for that one in the next episode. But even also little things like, seeing more of Hogarth and Foggy and and
Marcy a little bit too.
And Marcy, and then Iron Fist with Luke Cage. Finally good to see those guys finally, meet each other for the first time, because we know that obviously they team up a lot,
and obviously
in the comics and stuff.
And of course, and obviously how it ends with Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones. I want to keep watching. Obviously, we get to keep watching in a second.
I think this episode was just not that the first one was not good, but this one was just damn, okay, we're getting into it now.
I'll say this too: the first episode, while I really enjoyed it, the time in this episode, I didn't feel the flow of time in terms of it went. I'm like, holy crap, the episode's over already. That was so fast. It was a really good episode. I like the again, a lot of the character depth and the way they're progressing as characters, going from point A to point B. I just thought it was really good, and also too, I thought the storyline is getting a lot more interesting too, with what's going on with Alexandra,
and
with
Stick
too. By the way, I gotta point out, and I'm sure most of you probably figured it too, but Jason with his great detective eye, right when he saw Stick's hand, he's like, Stick. I was like, yeah,
it must be.
Yeah, I'm sure most of you probably figured that out too, but Jason, the second we got in his hand, said Stick. So.
And speaking of detective work too, it was cool seeing Jessica Jones going through all that stuff, and I gotta say too, this entire episode was just shot beautifully. I thought this episode was just really fun, and like you said, it just went by really quick, and it just ended.
Also too, again,
I can't wait to watch the next one.
I agree, and really quick, I just want to add by saying that I really love how it doesn't feel forced with all 4 characters' storylines intertwining. Like, it really actually feels very organic. Like, they're all setting up to intertwine and interact into the same mystery with what's going on with Alexandra and the hand. So I think they're doing a really good job, just really building it up and getting them to, like I said, intertwine with each other, which we've already gotten a little, as we just mentioned. We got Luke Cage fighting Danny Rand in this episode, and then of course at the end, the cliffhanger to end the episode is of course with Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones meeting. So like you, I didn't like this episode. I loved this episode, and I thought it was really good. And again, the limited action we did get, I thought it was very clear and very good what we saw, especially with Iron Fist too. I'm really liking what I'm seeing there, so hopefully it continues to build upon that good action I saw. And I got to think too, with the slow build we're getting for this first 2 episodes in terms of not as much action, which I don't mind, because the dialogue, the humor, the storyline is so interesting. The characters are so meaningful and impactful, and their relationships are so good. and their interactions are so good that I don't mind that it's not as much action, because I know later on in the season there's going to be Deathly Hallows Part 2 types of action, in terms of lots of action is coming.
Well, and we got to give it to the writers too. Just I feel like every scene that we're seeing almost is just a great scene.
Yeah,
scene with Alexandra when she's listening to the symphony, with that great view.
Loved it.
I just totally got the vibe. I'm like, this is totally something that Fisk would do too, and I really want to see that interaction, and just even some of the lines that she says in that, how she's talking about she's like, oh, that was an interesting piece that you chose to listen to, and she's like, because the one composer, I think Brahm, doesn't usually write in C that she said. She's like, well, it's a direct response to Beethoven. So like it's kind of foreshadowing that she's like responding and like going hard at something.
Well, not only that, she's very she's intellectual. She's into classical music.
That's what made me think of Fisk, kind of because with him and his art and all that.
Well, remember when he's dining with Vanessa? Anytime he's eating with Vanessa, like you hear, he's listening to some kind of symphony or some kind of music, and no, they're more that upper echelon type of New York type of kind of vibe. So no, I'm with you, and I did feel a lot of relatability. And you mentioned that Wilson Fisk connection in terms of like I could definitely see them interacting.
They're
with
just
each
like
other,
similar.
Like,
I feel like in that way.
Absolutely. And again, I still love seeing again between her and Madame Gao. I love seeing again that fear in her, and I love again how we're getting little itsy bitsy pieces of learning more about this character. And I just like that it really feels like she's really a force to be reckoned with. So it's going to be interesting to see again more as this character progresses.
Well, yeah, man, I definitely just can't even wait to watch episode 3 right now. And I kind of also feel, too, like Netflix knows that all these episodes are being released all at once, so you literally can binge watch it. You don't have to wait week to week. So I feel like the pacing, they're like making it work so that if you want to just watch it all in a row, the pacing just kind of works with that, too.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see how the rest of the episodes go.
I gotta say, too, I love seeing Foggy and Matt Murdock's relationship. That scene in the bar.
That scene was great, man.
Fantastic. I love seeing where, again, it kind of shows that rift in the relationship where it left off in season 2, where he kind of notices his knuckles, and then Matt gets really defensive and then is about to leave the bar. He's like, look, I might have a solution for you.
I'm not trying to judge you.
I'm not trying to judge you or be a charity to you, but I have and I like the solution he gave him. Like, you'll be so heavy deep in these cases. You'll be so heavy deep being a hero in other areas. You won't have to be an hero. That was the line
right there. Hero in other ways.
Yeah, I love that moment. It's a great moment for their friendship, and that they're willing to work on their friendship and relationship. It's not, hey, screw you. They care about each other. There's a deep bond there, and it's very meaningful and impactful. I love that relationship.
They're on the way to getting back as a team.
We knew it was going to happen.
But I'm just saying, this was the scene that kind of is initiating that.
And I really just started noticing too throughout more towards the end of this episode, like you and I kept on saying to each other, great scene. Great scene. So it was a lot of great.
And the camera work too was just like there was that one scene where like turns upside down following Jessica Jones. No, it's some crazy different shit.
I'm digging the show so far. I'm really enjoying it. And one other thing I want to mention, I forgot to mention in the end of episode 1, we get to see Matt Murdock. Obviously, we all know that he can hear everything basically. So seeing after everyone dealing with, I know they said it wasn't an earthquake because we got that caller on Trish saying it was only 300 feet.
But the whole ground
deep.
Was shaking.
Yeah. So obviously it's notable. It's obviously people are going to think it's an earthquake. So obviously, but the point I'm making is I love seeing that reaction to Matt, like seeing everyone freak out at once to what was going on there, because you would think like how's Matt dealing with hearing all that, and I just thought Charlie Cox did a great job conveying his emotions of just hearing everything at once, kind of like how Superman would be in that moment of just hearing everything at once.
Yeah, so. I mean he's always been great at that too. I love his acting as Daredevil too. So yeah. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. We are going to be coming out with videos for the rest of the episodes, so be sure to check those out. And if you like these videos, you can hit the subscribe button.
See you guys next time.